Wow. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yup.
Cool. Okay.
Ah.
What's up?
Oh, hi.
What's up with you?
Man, excited for a conjunction day. I went outside to see if I could see Jupiter and Saturn. We couldn't see it from where we was at, but we could see the moon.
Yes, that is happening tonight, right? With Jupiter and Saturn.
Yup.
Oh, so what did you see? I'm curious.
We didn't see nothing yet, so we're gonna try to go a little bit later and see if we got to walk or something. But we walked like a little bit out in our parking lot in the apartments, but we just saw the moon. We didn't see the star yet, so I ain't seen it yet. But I seen some people posting that they saw it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It definitely
Okay.
looked like a big bright star and like another little planet, like kind of close by.
Oh, I'm going to see.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too. Alignments. So excited. Alignment.
I'm like a mofo, man. So what's been new with you, man? What you got going?
Just doing what I do, trying to do what I do, and loving on people and loving on myself more, resting more now. Um, Girl, I have a whole book, but that's going to be written later. Been doing a lot of advocacy and unexpected activist work, dealing with some racial matters, but that's
Ooh.
a part of energy healing too. So
Yeah.
I'm entering into a rest and recovery period now, which is really nice and necessary. It takes a lot of energy and effort, but it's necessary.
Yeah.
So still doing my Reiki, thank God, and really focused on self-care right now.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm taking off during the entire month of January to just
Mm.
rest. So, um, I'm grateful.
That sounds scary.
Spirit has a sense of humor, I tell you.
It really don't
It
be out here playing.
Nobody. It doesn't. It doesn't, and it works in the most mysterious ways. And I think for so many people, we've just been moved out of our comfort zones,
Mm-hmm.
and it was necessary.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful. Yeah. How
Heard.
have you been? What's going on?
Learning the same things, I would say. Really, um, just how to sit down. And really, when you said that, that's interesting because I did trying to prepare to
Mhm.
like manifest and do all the good stuff for tonight. I had 4 questions, but I only ended up getting to question number 1. But
Yeah.
I realized that I've had a problem, not a problem, but it's been a challenge that I'm working with to rest, tapping into my feminine aspect. But I was
Mhm.
looking literally at it um like a challenge, right? And it seemed difficult, but then today I realized, I said, oh, feminine energy, which is like rest and intuition and receiving, all of that is the fuel to
Mm.
to my masculine energy. And so it's not like, oh, how do I rest or how do I figure this out? It's like, no, you want to do this because you need the gas because you got this car with all of this shit that you're trying to drive around. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, so now
Yeah.
it can be more fun. Or because I've been looking at it, it's like, I got to be vulnerable. That's a task. Like all of that stuff. So it really like let the guard down. So really just figuring out, coming into like a lot of feminine aspects that I don't, them muscles I don't know yet. I'm learning them.
Oh gosh, it's such a mystery.
Mm.
Feminine energy is so mysterious,
Yup.
um, and so multifaceted, you know. So yeah, enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride.
Cause I'm really over here like I'm in a girl body, but I'm a masculine energy. It's like cut straight to it. What's we doing? I don't even need all that
Yeah,
extra. And so that is very, very true. The mystery of the feminine part is because I got the other part down. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, it's beautiful. I'm excited for them to integrate
Right.
and find their rhythm together. You know.
Most definitely.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it's good to see you glowing.
Trying,
You
but I appreciate it. It be like, bro, I'm glad I don't look as busted as I feel sometimes. It be like, oh, I'm still cute, child.
I
Cause
look.
you be out here
Oh, I
going through it.
get it, man. I talk to so many people that are all like, "Fuck, man, that's a joke. What's going on?"
Yo,
I don't think that I've talked to anybody that's just been like within the past 2 or 3 months that have been like, "Oh, everything's great, just flowers, roses, happiness." No, man, like we're elevating, and that shit is uncomfortable sometimes. Oh,
facts, facts.
but I find rest in the fact that we all have created this moment together, so our spirit knows what is needed, and I have to remember that. Like, heal. It's all
Facts,
good.
facts.
Yeah, you signed up for this, Jazz. Just show up.
That is
Show up.
a tough reminder when you be like, but you said that you wanted to do this. Like, nobody forced you in here. Ooh, okay.
The question is why? Why? Yeah, but we're doing it together.
And
So
that's the good part. With the technology and the way the stuff is working, it's nice. It's like, yo, you can be in breakdown miles away, but I can still connect and help and be of service and stuff. So that is one of the cool benefits of it, that we all are here together for sure.
yes, thank goodness the community is here.
Yes. Thank goodness. And really, I mean, that's a nice segue into why I got you here anyways.
Yeah, what's up? I don't even know why. What was going on? You just, I was like, whatever you asked me to do, I'm gonna show up. So what's going on?
And then I realized, I said, ooh, I ain't send Jasmine no questions, no nothing. I said, well, we're gonna wing it. we're
So
gonna
listen.
we're gonna speak from the heart. So essentially what I'm doing is on Patreon, what I'm teaching and different things like that. I know I wanted one of my first courses to be about Reiki. And so I'm 5 classes into a 10-class series just talking about different aspects of Reiki, but giving, basic information. Like, I've done Reiki and emotions, Reiki in the everyday life. I've talked with a Reiki master. I forgot where Maurice lives, but I think he lives in Wisconsin. He's a Reiki master, and we just talked about Reiki experiences. What is Reiki? Surrendering to Reiki. And so it's just taking people on a journey to, like, if you're interested, because I remember during mine, like, it took me forever to find you, man. And so how do we close the gap with people who actually want help and want the information and want the resources? And so really, this episode is going to be called Meet My Reiki Master, right? Because you hot and popping out here all over the city. I meet people and they be like, Jasmine was my Reiki Master. I said, well, shit, me too. So you everywhere.
I really be on the low though. That's what's so interesting. I really be on the low.
You do that.
So, but you sparked that. I promise you did, because I will never forget. You told me that you Googled Reiki Masters or African American Reiki Masters and you couldn't find any. So that lit a fire under my ass. It really did.
Mm,
And it's so connected to everything that I do, because it was our ancestors that were the foremothers and forefathers of this work. So I was like, why? Something ain't adding up.
right?
Um, it's such a huge part of the revelation that I had. Seriously, it was like an ancestral revelation for me.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so I'm grateful for that.
And that's what called me, because of that right there. Like I said, it took me forever. It was a whole bunch of resources out here with people who didn't look like me, and it just didn't feel good, and it wasn't what I wanted. And so I was like, yo, what do we do? How do we aid? And so, I mean, you're already out here doing the work, right? And so the more platforms that we can continue to share the message, I feel like it is a step in the right direction.
For sure. and remembering that this is what we did. You know what I'm saying? Like this was our job, doing healing work. That's what we did. That's what's in our DNA, you know. So I think more than anything, Reiki has led me back to that memory. Like naturally, this is what we did. So it's not something that's foreign to us. It's just something that we are remembering.
How to do.
Um, mhm,
Facts.
mhm.
And so, Ridley, what we just gonna do? We just gonna chit chat, and we just happen to be recording it. I got a couple questions that I
Sure.
just want to ask you. That's it.
Okay.
Cool.
No.
So, I mean, easy. I feel like the first question, easy, is boom. Who is Jasmine Dominique?
Ah. I am still unraveling her. Okay. But what I can say is that I'm a servant for my ancestors. I'm somebody that's continuing the legacy of my ancestors. And um, that's something that I value with everything that I am. I'm somebody that loves love, and I believe in the power of love and the manifestation of love in many different forms. And I wholeheartedly believe that we are our ancestors.
Mm,
So, who is Jasmine Dominique? Jasmine Dominique is her ancestors in human form, again, continuing a mission, shifting energy, passing on legacies, and remembering who we are. So, this isn't my first go around, but this is, for me, this experience is allotting me with memories that I've never had before.
mm,
Um, and through my work, through the way that I live my life, I hope that I encourage other people to tap fully into who they are, not just who we have been told we are. So that's who I am in a nutshell.
right on. And I think it's very interesting too, because if the people who watch this, if they had time to spend with you, it's always very interesting because you don't be playing about them ancestors. You be talking to you in regular conversation and be like, yeah, they said that. And you be like, oh, oh, Jasmine. And you be like, okay, yeah, she over there. All right. And so it's wonderful to see, to really experience somebody tapped in like that.
They love us so much,
Mm,
and they've paved the way for us to be here, remembering, evolving. You know what I'm saying? So the least that I can do is live my life in a way that honors myself, but honors them as well, because they paved the way for me to do so.
mm,
You know, and my ancestors are all people. My ancestors are all of those people that have lived in love. Those are my ancestors.
yeah.
So I'm a descendant of the earth. I'm a descendant of my African ancestors. I'm a descendant of my Native American ancestors. You know, I got some European ancestors in there too that I've made peace with. You know what I'm saying? But I'm happy that I've made peace with them because that has given me the opportunity to shift energy, right? And to release resistance.
Mm,
Um, so I'm grateful. I'm grateful that they chose me. You know, I didn't choose any of this. I was chosen to do this, and my life became much easier when I surrendered to it. That's
facts.
it. Hmm.
Reiki is definitely like that gentle reminder of like, I mean, yeah, you got free will to do what you want to do, but this not your life, cause you gotta, yeah. That's a great reminder.
Yeah, and we're a part of a collective. You know, we're a part of one body that is expressing itself in different forms. You know, but we're here with a purpose and a mission, and surrendering to that, even when it's not 100% clear or valid,
Mm,
surrendering to that, I feel just brings so much peace and comfort, even when externally or physically everything else is telling you otherwise. You know what I'm saying? It's like I know that I know that I know because I've surrendered to something higher.
mm,
um, yeah, so that's the way I try to live my life, and I try to inspire other people to do the same too. Because a lot of people don't realize that they're not operating in their own body sometimes, you know, or their own mind sometimes. Especially living in this country, you know, I'm still working through some of the programs that have been fed to me. So that surrender has been so sweet because I surrender to something that knows what I don't necessarily know yet.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
So what would you say was the catalyst that really sparked your healing journey?
Oh man, that's so interesting that you're asking me that question, Guruji. My mom's birthday was December 19th, which was like 2 days ago. And my mom died at the age of 37. She had a brain aneurysm,
Mm.
and she was 37. And so I think after she died, it was my freshman year of college. That just really opened my eyes up. That was my spiritual awakening. That's how awesome moms are. Like, she made a sacrifice, I feel, which was death, in order for me to awaken.
Whoa.
Um, Ultimate sacrifice, right? That's what mamas do.
That
And
is.
so that started me out on my journey. And I was like a devout Christian. I was raised in the Southern Black church. And, those roots are still very much a part of my spirituality. But I went through like a severe depression after my mom died. And I started questioning God, but then it was like, that's the devil. You're not supposed to question God. But I was like, wait, I have questions. So I went through a severe depression. I was working with a psychologist, taking medication. I was suicidal, all because I didn't understand what was happening to me on a spiritual level.
Mm.
I moved to Chicago, Illinois, and there is like a mecca for diversity and open thinking. And I met amazing people on my path that introduced me first to African spirituality, and the rest followed.
Mm.
Yeah, but my mom's death is what definitely, my mom's sacrifice for my awakening is what started me on my journey.
Wow. I never knew that. So then, if your first introduction was African spirituality, how did Reiki find you? Because I feel like you don't go searching for Reiki. That mud say, look, no, you come here, you come
Yeah, right? And
here.
that's exactly what happens. Like, you, hey. Well, the Orishas found me when I was in Chicago, or definitely before, but that's when my eye was open to them, when I was in Chicago. And it's all about energy, like understanding the energies that are most present in you so that you can understand why you respond and maneuver throughout your life the way that you do. So that was my first introduction. But I moved to Brazil in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And there, it's just natural to be spiritual. Like, people don't force it, they don't read it. It's just a natural occurrence. And there, I had my first Reiki session. And at first, I was like, "What the hell is she doing? What's going on here? All right, is this all right?" But because she was like doing stuff with her hands, and if you don't know anything about it,
Yeah.
like, what's happening, you know?
Oh.
But I would never forget what I felt. And there, people do Reiki. They work with the symbols. And there's where I was introduced to it. And I didn't study it while I was there. I had a friend that was teaching it. But when I moved back to Nashville in 2015, I met my teacher. And the rest is history. I don't remember how the conversation went. I don't remember how I was led to information about her class. I don't remember any of that. I don't
Wow.
remember. Yeah, it just kicked off. But I
That's
was introduced um, to it in Brazil.
and
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting that you said that because that's how mine was. I'm telling you that I just kept looking at the same websites over and over, and then it was like I remember going to it. I seen this website just the night before, and then when I got there, it was like all of a sudden Jasmine was right there, and so it's just like, well, how this?
Yeah.
Huh?
The energy is so intelligent. That's why I tell people all the time with Reiki, with energy in general, because Reiki is just another word for energy, Holy Spirit, chi, prana, with energy, it's so intelligent and it knows what the spirit needs. So we don't have to force the connection. All we have to do is be open to it.
Mm,
um, it will give you what you're ready for, always, in the most miraculous and surprising ways. If you open yourself up to it, it will find you.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I get it. I get it. When you told me that, I was like, how did you find me? I didn't, how did that happen?
How? Wait, and it was just like that. I kept looking and looking, and I've seen the picture and everything, but when I clicked on it that day, the information was there, but all them other days, it wasn't present. It wasn't there. I don't know.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
What was your level 1 experience like? Yeah, getting your first attunement.
Man, transformative.
Mm.
Quickly. I was like, what is happening to me?
Fast.
Ah. It was so transformative because one of my Reiki masters, she is of Asian descent. And so that ancestral connection, like to Dr. Mikao Usui's teachings, like I could just feel it. And immediately after my first attunement, I was more sensitive. I remember going to a restaurant. I think I told you this story, and I thought I was going to eat some salmon and, a little sushi. And literally the fish started talking to me. And I was like, what is happening? So the
What?
fish started to talk to me, and I could feel energetically everything that fish went through to get on my plate. And it freaked me out. So it was definitely a bit shocking. My teacher looked at me and she told me, she was like, after you receive this attunement, your life is going to change very quickly. And I was like, okay, girl, whatever. Yeah, no, that's what happened.
Bad.
Yeah, quickly. My relationship started to shift. Um, my psychic abilities were heightened.
Mm.
Uh, my desires, my vision shifted a bit. Like everything changed quickly.
So
Yeah.
I remember in my level 1 attunement, and I remember asking you this. It was like, why would I want to be grounded? Who wouldn't want to be up in the air? And that's one of them things your master tried to tell you. Look, no, cuz this you better prepare, because I've seen how that plays out. If like that's not a part, it'll really shift your life real quick. And that was one of the things for me in my level 1 attunement that I don't think I was prepared to see how that showed up, right? Because it was a dramatic change.
Yeah, I get it. And it's so hard to explain that. It's like, even when I'm teaching, I've learned how to give what I'm supposed to give and then to just be, because
Mm.
everybody's experience with Reiki is unique, right? So there's only so much that I can say. Like, Reiki is going to give people what they're ready for. But I always let people know your life could change. So before you take this path, make sure this is something that you want to do, because more than likely your world is going to look very different. And life is going to shift.
And I was gonna say, even different to the fact of like, yo, I had a plan before I went in. Like, yo, I'm gonna get level 1 through 3 at a certain amount of time. And after I got level 1, I was like, hold on.
I remember.
Hold on. It really
Yeah.
did. It shook up a lot. It shook up a lot.
But your process was so, like, I wish that I could have captured your process somehow, but I know I wasn't supposed to because it was your process. But it was so authentic, and you were so devoted to it. You know what I'm saying? And I know that some moments were not easy for you. Like, I literally watched your life transition.
Yeah.
Um, but you were committed to the process and you trusted it. And that to me is what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Like, trusting the shift and trusting where it's going to take you. And that's what you did. And so it's hard to explain that with words. Like, you just got to go through it. And, uh,
That's been one of the things that I've learned, is that that's the only, I feel like, little piece of uniqueness that Reiki has allowed me, is that before I knew I was willing to try different stuff and fail and be okay. But now it's like literally I can fall in the mud, get mud on my face and get up. And there's like a energy or a voice. It's like, it's cool. Let's go on. Keep going. Like it helps and it adds to that. And so that's definitely where that commitment and that perseverance came from. It comes with like an added, you know, mother energy. Really, that's what it is. You know,
mhm, mhm.
like, cause I can remember, like, think about if you're going through a heartbreak and you tell your mama like this what happened, and your mama be like, man, forget them. You don't need them. You got this. What's up? Or if you need to cry, it's cool. We got you. And that's really what Reiki is all of the time.
Yeah. I always describe Reiki as being a feminine, motherly energy. It's like water. You know, it knows where to flow. It knows in which direction to flow in. It's very motherly to me.
Yeah.
Very motherly, which makes sense because, you know, when we talk about Reiki, we're talking about the essence that has created any and everything under the sun. So
Mm.
it, you know, creation, it's feminine energy. So wow, I just put that together.
You see, I said facts. Okay.
You know, and I that's how I love to explain it. Like Reiki is not like this secluded energy that you got to tap into. No, we are Reiki energy. We are the Holy Spirit. We're that already. Anything that has ever been created, this couch that I'm sitting on, this computer that I'm using, it has Reiki energy because it was created underneath the sun, you know. So I see how that's connected to feminine energy.
Facts.
Mm.
Facts. What's been your greatest challenge since becoming a Reiki master?
Taking personal responsibility sometimes, and
Ooh.
man, went for real, and also giving myself the opportunity to still be my own individual. I still need to do my shadow work. I still have ugly moments, you know. So releasing the pressure of being this perfect Reiki master that has it all together. And when I first started, that's how it was for me, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But no, I think me being a Reiki master means that I'm being authentic in
Mm-hmm.
my um, but definitely taking personal responsibility. I mean, it's a beautiful and sacred responsibility. And I realize that now, truthfully, I don't only just live my life for me, but as an example, my students are watching me. Like, you know, they're watching me and learning from me. And so with that comes a little pressure sometimes
Yep.
that I don't want sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but this is what my path is. So finding that balance is something that I'm still working on.
This is that's so, when I tell you that's literally what I'm doing right now. Like I took a social media break because I was like, yo, I didn't got it twisted. I didn't let y'all think Guruji Chastity is like love and light. No, it be going down
Yeah.
over here. And that is, I realized it was just so much pressure. Like, no. It's like sometimes I'm or like I have realized that people think that I do this work because I have it all together. No, I do this work because I don't, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Mm-hmm.
don't. And so that very much so resonates that Reiki is about being authentic. And I had to get real honest with myself about a lot. And so taking responsibility, I wrote that down today. Taking responsibility for how I feel, that blocked my path to acceptance. I couldn't accept a lot because I didn't want to take responsibility for how I felt about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. And to know that, you know, we're evolving too. Like I always tell my students who are really my teachers, I don't look at me as being this magical, mystical. No, I'm none of that, man. Like usually the people that are Reiki masters, people that are Reiki masters have a history and they have a story that has led them to this work, you know? And so even though I'm not living in my past, it's important for me to stay connected with my past because I don't want anybody putting me on a pedestal because I fuck up every day. You know what I'm saying? So just staying connected to that human side of me, it brings a balance, and I'm still finding my balance.
Thanks. See,
Yeah.
it's nice to know that like I think in Western culture, at least especially between women, in terms of being mirror reflections, it's like I feel like we haven't always been seen as equals. It's just like, oh, you're older, so you got to listen to me. But it's like, it really be blowing my mind when I find out that like, yo, people I look up to are damn near going through the same thing that I'm going through. And we're reflections of each other. But how I was raised, it was just like, I didn't have anything to offer the older
Mm,
person because they was older. But it was like,
yeah.
we probably going through the same thing, but it shows up in different ways. But like in Celtic culture where they have the mother, the maiden, the mother, and the crone, like those are three different aspects of like a life that a woman goes through, but all of those women are seen equal. at all points of their lives. So the crone can still learn something from the maiden, even though she hasn't all went through all the way through life yet.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah.
I love I find truth and peace in the fact that if we are here on this planet, we are here because we're still evolving. So
Well,
anybody that is here because we still have work to do. We're still evolving,
that's
uh,
fact.
you know? And that's a beautiful thing. I think more than anything, Reiki has just taught me to be authentic in the moment, whatever that means, to be authentic in the moment and to also know that I have the ability to shift where I am in the moment energetically if I choose to. That's it. But I can't shift it if I'm not being honest about it. It's not going to happen,
It's
you
not.
know? So I've never wanted to be one of these people that are like, oh, she's so holy. I'm far from that. I am so far. I had a temper tantrum yesterday. And after I was like, oh, that feels so good. Balance. And that's another thing that Reiki has taught me is to let go of these Western, I feel it was very Westernized, and growing up with strong Black women, having descendants that were slaves, like all of the mental pressures that have come with being a part of that lineage that I definitely understand. But Reiki has helped me to alleviate the pressure to be a certain type of way and to just be my authentic self
Yeah.
in that moment. Because only when I'm authentic, I can cultivate balance, and Reiki is about balance, honoring the masculine and the feminine, the
Yep.
yin and the yang, the hot and the cold, the light and the dark. And I'm grateful for that. So grateful.
Whew,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So look, I got one more question because this been wavy. This been jewels, right?
Every time we have a conversation, baby.
You know, no. So my last question is, what advice would you give to aspiring Reiki people of all levels? If anybody just want to do their first attunement all the way through the last, what advice would you give them?
Get ready for the ride. Oh man, know that it's home. Like for me, Reiki is home. It's like heaven on earth for me. I want to be honest about it. The process is not always easy because what I feel Reiki does is it's natural, raw, pure energy. So it's going to show you everything that keeps you from connecting to that space. And so things will come up. Your true self and where you are and you're in that moment will present itself to you. You'll see your shadow side, your dark side, you'll see your light side, but it's also beautiful. And first, if I could, the advice that I really want to give to people that are aspiring to delve more into Reiki is to do it first for you.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Do it first for you and connect with it first for you. Establish your relationship with Reiki for you first, and then naturally the rest will follow. Naturally, but you got to do it for you first. And you got to know that there's always space for growth and healing. Um, do it for you first, and the rest will follow.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, and be ready to do the work, And I tell people all the time, if you think you're gonna come to me just to get some certifications, nope. It's not gonna happen because Reiki gonna shut all of that down. I see it. Reiki will give to people what they are ready for. So another piece of advice that I have is to do it because you genuinely want to do it to evolve as a person.
Mm.
Um, yeah. So it's different. Western society teaches us to achieve certain goals so that you can get a degree or a certificate or you know what I'm
You can get the
saying?
money. So you can get the money.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But with Reiki, it's different. It's different.
And I can
Uh,
attest that I wasn't all the way out of that mindset before I began my work in Reiki, and it will show up. Like stuff won't work for you. If you try to use Reiki for that intention, it just won't work.
did it. I was in the same place. Like, oh, this is just another certification I'm gonna have under my belt. No.
Right.
Oh, so I that's what I want to encourage people to do is come with your intentions. Like know what your intentions are behind doing the work. Um, yeah, and the rest will follow. It comes with internal work though.
Yep.
It does.
Right.
And I'll say this too. You know, when people choose to pursue Reiki, I kind of feel like they have to be willing to risk it all, to be honest, because you know, the more you begin to delve into the energy and the more you begin to heal yourself with that energy, there's a possibility that your world, the world that has been created, it might shift and change.
So
You
might
know?
rip it might rip the tablecloth off that table and say, okay, it's cool, but we can reset it. But I had to rip it off. Yep.
Yeah. So just know it. It comes with work, but it's all beautiful at the end of the day.
It is. And it's all worth it for sure. As long as you can maintain patience, it's all worth it. And that's been a key thing for me. I wasn't always as patient, and it roughed me up a little bit, like, your mama. She might not beat you up, but she'll rough you up. Like, you better get it together. Like,
That's
bye.
what it does.
It is. You better quit playing with me, man.
That's what it does. And it's like no matter how you try to like shuck and jive and get away from it and duck and hide, like, I'm still right here, right?
I seen you do that.
Man, because let me tell you, when I started out on my path with Reiki, I was like, yeah, I'm about to get this certification and take my business to the next. That's where my mindset was, right?
Ooh.
Man, Reiki humbled me so fast.
Man.
So fast.
Yep.
So yeah, just know that it's all about the internal work first, which is so beautiful to me because my goal is to encourage people to create businesses, holistic health businesses that are rooted in the spirit and the heart.
Mm-hmm.
My goal is to encourage people to allow their energy to be their brand, right? So that means that we got to do the work first. We got to do the work first. If we want to attract certain people into our work experience, if we want to attract certain experiences for ourselves as entrepreneurs, our core needs to be a reflection of that. So the internal work cannot be avoided.
It can't. Because it
No.
just ain't going to show up, pretty much.
Nope.
Man.
So
It's like
yeah,
been there, done that. It took me 3 years, I was about to say, to really realize that's not going to work, sis. That's not going to work.
yeah, and that's how clever Reiki is to me. Like you just know that it's there. You know when it's speaking. You know when it's teaching.
Yep.
You just know.
And even thinking about it now, it really is like a mama. It's like, look, at ghetto, I ain't gonna put you out. You can stay here. I give you time to. I know you're gonna get it together. And then she gave me 3 years to figure it out. And it was like, oh, now you got it. Okay, come on. But yeah, it'll definitely put you on the bench real quick.
It's such an intelligent, it's the energy that has created everything. So it's super intelligent, right? Like, can't even describe that level of intelligence with words. So it knows what we need and it knows that's what I want to say. Like, be ready to deal with the ego. I have faced my ego through Reiki in ways that I could never imagine. But it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. Yeah. So Reiki can really guide you to your core. Yeah.
Well, right on, man. I've enjoyed our time together. This has been lovely.
Thank you for this time.
Yes, even it's always a diddy bop when we get together. We make hits, you know what I'm saying?
Always.
I love it.
Always.
So yeah,
Great.
before we get off here, tell the people where they can find you, man. How they reach out and connect with Jasmine Dominique.
Okay. Oh no. So I was just thinking I didn't put on my little lipstick. Yeah. I thought we were just chatting it up tonight. But that's all right. Let me put this little piece.
Okay,
over here.
work it out, Sister Kent.
So of course, Jasmine Dominique is Love on Instagram, Jasmine Dominique on Facebook. and then my website, jasminedominique.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. And you're doing great work. Like, and I just want to say that, yeah, you know, I'm like, I'm chilling and I'm watching. You know what I'm saying? I'm stepping out, I'm stepping back a bit and just observing. And you're doing really great work. So, whoever is watching this video, you're in good hands with Guruji.
Cool.
And yeah, thanks for all that you're doing because it's from your core, and I feel that. So thank
Mm.
you.
I appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate it. And it's always nice to be seen, especially by those who you admire and look up to. So I definitely appreciate you taking the time to do this for me and to be a major part of my journey, man. I love it.
All love. I just think back. I will never forget. I'll never forget when we talked for the first time. I
Mm.
was broke as a joke, working in a hotel as a receptionist. And I never told you the story. I was
No.
really like I was struggling, like struggling financially. And I was, just hopeful. And I received that call. We had the conversation, and I knew that everything was going to be okay. So to see how life has blossomed since that conversation, describes how Reiki works for me. Like,
Wow.
example of how Reiki works, it will always guide you to where you need to be. Oh,
That
yeah,
is, that's a full circle moment right there. I appreciate that.
yeah.
Wow.
I had
Right
to
on. Look
run.
where we at 3 years, 4 years later.
And I remember when you called, I was like, I got to run away to get to the conference room real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah.
And I remember being so hyped. I was like, when the next one? Like and you gave me some dates. I said that first one, I'm gonna be there. Yup. I remember it. I was so ready.
Yeah.
Yep.
You have blossomed so beautifully. And I always keep a few things. So I always take the picture that you gave to me and then the grid that you created for me.
Mm.
Simply because you have been the reflection of what the commitment is all about. You know what I'm saying? Like you really committed to the process. And now, yeah, we see the result. We
Right.
see the beautiful result. So keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it and I love you. You
I
know.
love you.
And so yes, I'm gonna get on off here. I'm finna go outside. I'm finna see what this conjunction talking about, see if I can see something, man.
Yes, me too. And happy alignment night.
Yes, happy conjunction day and have a beautiful rest of your night, sis.
You too, love. Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, peace.
Peace.